Social media land. This is Ted Victor, founder of the Broward Social Network. Today is July 2nd, 2020 at approximately 1:15 in the afternoon. Today is a very interesting day. We have brought back Dr. Marie Flore Lindor Latortue, who is a candidate for a Miami-Dade School Board in District 7. Yesterday, the Miami-Dade School Board had their meeting to discuss the opening of schools for the 2020-2021 academic school year. And there are just quite a few elements that need to be discussed. Myself, I'm a teacher in Broward County, and I will also be having this conversation in Broward County with the stakeholders. This conversation, again, will be very special. It will be in English, it will be in Spanish, and it will be in Creole for all of the very interested and connected communities in Miami-Dade, and in particularly in District 7. Dr. Marie Flore Lindor Latortue, my mentor, my friend, my sister, bienvenida, welcome back to the Broward Social Network.
Good afternoon, Ted. About 24 hours yesterday, the Miami-Dade County School Board called an emergency meeting to share their plan and reopening 2020-2021. Then you and I, as a parent and also educators, we felt that we can contribute some reflections, nothing else than some reflections and our capacity to really connect exclusively the minorities in Miami-Dade County, which are the African Americans, the Hispanic, and the Haitians. Thank you, Ted, for having me.
What are your thoughts, Dr. Flore? And I know that's a loaded question because there's a lot to discuss, and I don't even know if we have enough time to discuss them because emotions are running high. People are not safe. COVID-19 is increasing in its numbers, and we have an economic downturn. Children need to be educated. So what are your thoughts? What are your reflections on some of the issues which were discussed yesterday? And pour nous aussi, pour nous adresser Haïtiens, parce que si par exemple, communauté américaine perdue, communauté haïtienne perdue encore plus, y también la comunidad hispanoparlante. So what are your thoughts in response to yesterday's meeting?
Vamos a cogerlo del aspecto objetivo como observadora, porque yo estuve en la reunión desde el principio hasta el final. Ma pral partager réflexion sa yo a TED, parce que moi participé la réunion depuis début jusqu'à la fin, moi gardel. And I'm very humbled to really bring an objective perspective on my observation on the meeting yesterday. Let's start by psychologically observing the leaders who call in the meeting, Ted. Mm-hmm. Then if we go from that perspective, looking at their body languages, the content of the meeting, and also their reaction and their ability to deliver an emergency plan, we need to applaud them. Okay, we need to applaud them because they took the leadership there. School closed 30 days ago, and they are already planning. And that's what leaders should do.
Right, it's not an easy plan. It's not an easy plan at all.
It's not an easy plan.
Uh-huh. They are facing a situation which is probably something that none of them has ever experienced before.
Exactly. And there's no written book for them, giving them guidelines. Then they've done it on a very strategic date, which is July 1st, beginning of a new month. Then and my objectivity, if I was to analyze it from a media perspective, we applaud them, Ted. We think their timing was effective. We think also their body language reflected not a total readiness, but we can give them like a 75% in their attempt. And the communication approach was like a 80%, a B. Because I don't think people ever think that our community is so resourceful that we have analysts that can analyze people behavior or people leadership delivery system. And that's what you and we are doing as contributors in our loving community. Then based on that, not only we applaud them on the strategic approach, on the timing, and also on their courage. But I also felt, Ted, that physically and biologically, 90% of them appeared tired because the meeting is recorded. People can go back.
Long hours. It was
yes.
what,
Okay.
5
They
hours?
are tired. They are.
It was what, 5 hours? No, over 5 hours.
But these meetings are always too long for me. And they had like about 50 public comments. They tried their best, but if I was in their position, I will limit public comments to no more than 20 because we are in 2020.
Yeah, and some of the comments were repetitive.
They were redundant. There were comments, public comments should be received based on issues, similar
content, right.
issues. And I don't think they have the expertise to screen the public comments. They were open. Then based on that, we give them the benefit of the doubt and their goodwill for putting this together. But they were exhausted, they were tired, and they are human beings too. Then it's not the time for nobody to throw rocks at them because it will not be, it will not be of justice to them. A la comunidad latina, lo que yo y Ted acabamos de hacer en la introducción es presentar una perspectiva de evaluación en la forma que el liderazgo de la Junta de Educación presentó el plan de emergencia para reabrir las escuelas. Entonces, de mi perspectiva mediática, entonces felicito al conjunto del liderazgo de la Junta de Educación porque el tiempo fue el principio del mes, julio 1, la fecha fue excelente, la hora excelente, pero el contenido de la reunión fue demasiado largo y también descubrimos mucho cansancio en la cara de ellos que probablemente dejó la reunión a un nivel de 75%.
Y además, déjame añadir que yo creo que ellos tienen un poco de temor, porque la cosa es que...
Oh, sí, vamos a hablar de eso.
Sí,
ellos tienen mucho temor y también Broward está atrasado a este nivel porque no presentó su plan y un día antes había protesta en Broward, entonces temor había bastante. Entonces nosotros en Miami tenemos esta única oportunidad de tener el liderazgo de lo que al fin voy a proponer de presentar por fin un nuevo sistema de educación en Miami, porque si ellos escuchen y sacar un poquito la política y aprovechar de este momento para hacerlo bien. Frère haïtien yo c'est frère nous moi-même c'est peut-être pas qu'un petit garçon mais gade les m'a gomavel li troisième petit garçon parce que Jean Roland mouri. Alors, malheureusement. J'ai fait 2 fois déjà, mais je me Ted en pile. Ce qui est que je pas l'autre monde pour me faire émission sérieuse ça que Ted pour me faire nous connaître que nous même haïtiens m'bral calé nous ni moi à Ted. Dans liste monde qui fait commentaire, m'pa aucun nom haïtien Ted. Est-ce que vous comprenez ça 50 moun yo di moun yo sou gon bagay pour di ou ka di li après ça on peut-être abjurer. Pas aucun haïtien soi-disant qu'il n'y a aucun commentaire, ni tout a dit que...
Et nous avons un gros pourcentage,
Mais haïtien, mes amis, 50 noms moun yo li, tout c'est Tedo, Teda, Francisco, Francisca. Ça veut dire que bah, yo public nous kawè, ou du moins peut-être 5 à 10 African-Américaines. Tout l'autre yo c'est pas yo. Alors, réunion était bien. Yo gen courage, yo fait ça yo capable pour yo présenter un plan d'urgence qui Jean pour yo ouais que pour l'école ouverte. Alors on dit Ted et si c'est micro moi t'a fait radio moi ma Ted, une fois que nous t'a félicité yo pour effort. Deuxièmement, yo pas que jamais reposer, l'école ferme le 3 juin mais là un mois, yo déjà pensé à réouvrir l'école et puis moi ma Ted nous pas fait ça pour nous juger. Nous pas faire ça parce que nous plus bon parce que personne. Faire ça parce que nous c'est leader Jean pas nous et nous besoin pas arrêter bouche fermée pour nous contribuer dans ça bon Dieu ba nous comme parents haïtiens tout et comme éducateurs qui pas égaré dans affaires éducation.
Mais ahora yo tengo una pregunta injusta. Eso es una pregunta injusta.
Vamos.
Usted como madre y también como profesora, ¿estamos listos para la reapertura de escuela?
No, no. No hay que hacerme la pregunta dos veces, poniéndome los dos sombreros. Tú sabes que a mí me gustan los sombreros. No estamos listos.
No estamos listos.
No queremos decir honestamente, sí, las escuelas tienen que abrir. Estamos de acuerdo que la escuela tiene que abrir.
Obligatoriamente.
Okay, obligatoriamente, we are with the school board that we need to open school. The when we need to open school is what is in question even after yesterday.
¿Cuándo y cómo? ¿Cuándo y cómo?
Okay. The when, let's say based on the comments, because I took notes, there were at least 2 or 3 people who mentioned that they can open after Labor Day. Okay. Then administratively, the school board has to really function. Then if they're gonna make that sacrifice to go after Labor Day, not the 24th, someone like me, I will be receptive to that. Why? Because when you're making decision, you have to always look at 4 pillars.
Okay, what are the 4 pillars?
Okay, the mental state of your decision making, the impact of your decision, and also the economic approach. Because you cannot lie to yourself. And lastly, that's supposed to be first, the health factor. And now we are dealing with a public health crisis. Then the health is no longer the pinky finger. It has to be the thumbs up. It has to be the first one to consider. And when you unveil also a plan, if anybody has really great experience and leadership, you need at least 60 days. You need a 30 days follow-up. Because if you tell me you love me today, I need to see what are you gonna do the next 30 days to call me and ask me for a date.
Exactly. As evidence. I tell people all the time, love is a verb.
It's evidence-based practice. And I'm seeing that we're lacking those basic skills that we learn in school. And when we are elected, we're not making those things happen. And yes, yesterday it happened. Then you have to give the parents time to digest it. Then you will come to them at the beginning of August after listening to the comments, and you still have a committee working with you on that, and say, okay, we put health first, and this is what we're doing. Okay, either sanitation, because most of the people concerned is health. There's a lady, she said that she is afraid for her mother, who is 91, because she has a kindergarten that has to enter school for the first time this year. And she knows that kindergarten are not aware of what they're touching, not touching, and things like that. And that little kid...
Even in high school, Dr. Flore, what are you talking about? Even in high school, those kids, they talk about everybody.
No, that's different.
Those
that's
kids
different.
Those kids are not going to wear. They're not going to wear a mask. Those kids are not going to follow the protocols.
Anyway, you are correct, because yesterday, my husband was talking to Raphael, that is a middle schooler, and tell him, Raphael, you heard, you're gonna wear your mask in class. Raphael said he will not wear it in class.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it.
For 8 hours. They're not gonna wear it for 8 hours.
They're not going to do it. I mean, I don't even understand why we even have this conversation. But Dr. Flore.
But we need to open school. We need to open school.
But listen, yes, we do, which is where I probably am going, because you mentioned the protest in Broward, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, Broward and Miami, they are married. We breathe the same air, we drink the same water, and so forth. We also have to talk about Parayo, right? The parents, because the parents who are working 9 to 5 and
also parents who commute from one county to another.
Right. Parents who are working 9 to 5 and do not have where to leave their kids while they're working. You know, I personally believe, you know, as my sister, as my mentor, I personally believe there's just no way that the school system can answer all of the problems. I think the workforce should help those parents, right? If, for example, you are somebody who works in an office, I think the office should probably allow you to bring if we decide to go virtual, right? Allow for you to bring your kids to work, because the school system cannot do it all.
Okay, now let's remain systematic. We said, number one, that we agree for school to open, and we're gonna go based on what happened yesterday. We heard some parents making some proposition that school can open after Labor Day. Then now we, Ted and I, we are reflecting. We are not demanding, we're sharing ideas. Recommending that there should be like a 30-day follow-up of that emergency meeting for them to tell us where are they in the acting of the plan. Don't go and just tell us that here is the plan, okay? And that's where the White House, all the way to other governments, fail us as constituents. They tell us stay home, we follow. They tell us, okay, plan one, phase yellow, green, and now we cannot even go to the green because we have to close restaurants again and things like that. Then what I did yesterday, you see the word team, T-E-A-M? I spelled it based on crisis for them, for us, for me too. Letter T is time. Now time is of essence. And time waste is never regained. Then we need to be careful. We need to think carefully on how we're using time. If we said school is opening on 8/24, we need to come back August 1st and say, what are the health measures being considered based on everything we heard the parents said regarding three variables: health, fear, and economy. At least the parents were excellent. All those 50 public comments, they were all around those three things. Health, my grandmother, my children health, my children has asthma. There is a lady, she has multiple complications. She has heart attacks, she has seizures.
I did hear that.
You heard that story, okay? Then based on those, health, fear, and economy, then let's make it easy for the school board and say, fear we all have, Ted and I, we cannot fix it. But health, yes, you can fix it. First of all, you will go back to the plan and use letter E, which is education. You propose two plans to the parents. You propose opening, having the students in school every day. And I that's good. That's good because you done the survey and some people, because of work, they want their kids back to school. Now, what was missing is who needs to be back to school every day. Then based on studies, evidence-based practice, kids who can be in school every day are generally pre-Ks to fifth graders because distance learning was not designed for them. Kids, those elementary kids, pre-K, kindergarten, elementary, they need to be in school every day. Then if now, I heard many parents that they do not want their kids to go, then they have the second option of virtual. I will personally tell the school board, these kids also cannot go distance learning. The parents need to go with homeschooling. That options was not presented at all yesterday. Homeschooling is not distance learning. Homeschooling is you as a parent taking your leadership, stop making demands to the school board because they are human beings like you too, and do your homework, get your resources, and keep your kids at home because they have resources for homeschooling.
But what about the parents that have to work, or what about the parents who don't have the patience to be?
Listen, Ted, with all the love, the school board try its best, but they did not think about that third options. You and I, we're bringing it to them. Okay, if you have to work, you take your kids to school. That's an option. If you don't have to work and the kids is between pre-K and 5, Ted, between you and I, you know, daycares, you know me, I always research. Daycares are open and the kids are fine. You go to the kindergartens. I have 7 kindergartens in my neighborhoods. They all open, the kids play, the parents drop them and pick them up. The little kids, they have their mask. And also they play in the playground. The teachers have their mask. Then they are in, daycares are open. Then those kids parents have 2 choices, because if you conceive your child and you brought your child to life, it is your first responsibility to care for
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Then là, ou fait petit là, ou
c'est pas tout le monde, malheureusement, c'est pas tout le monde qui est d'accord. Moun yo gen, puis moun,
yo pas d'accord, mais
yo travail, yo mette ti moun nan sachet, yo pote ba l'école là, alors là même c'est l'école là pour faire toute responsabilité.
And that's why there is you and I. Yo met fâché, yo met...
No debe ser así. La responsabilidad no puede ser por encima del maestro, hacer todo. Usted como madre, tiene que hacer el trabajo de educar a su hijo.
A su hijo. La educación no es algo que tiene que hacer la maestra. La maestra da a tu hijo o el maestro la instrucción. Entonces ahora ellos también no tienen la culpa del virus, porque ellos tienen su familia también afectados. He hablado con muchos maestros que tienen gente enfermos, niños enfermos también. Entonces hay 2 opciones que propongamos. Las escuelas tienen que abrir, pero ahora agosto 24 es demasiado
temprano.
Entonces hay 2 opciones. Los niños chiquitos no están para la educación a distancia. Tienen que estar en el salón, porque también la Junta de Educación hizo otra encuesta llamando a los padres para saber si quieren que los niños cogen la guagua. Eso es un buen esfuerzo, porque tienen algo que se llama un budget. Ellos tienen que manejar eso, porque si el año fiscal termina y no pueden reportar a la cantidad de gente, los que manejan la guagua, que están sin trabajo, los que están en la cafeteria, entonces eso es ser egoísta. Entonces yo y Ted estamos haciendo una reflexión muy profunda, compartiendo nuestras calidades y destrezas y poner la educación en casa. Por favor, infórmense sobre lo que es. Y el niño puede coger 1 año, pero eso también ahora van a ver cómo vale y cómo es importante un profesor, porque la educación en casa es la tarea del padre y la mamá.
Bueno, la gente que no están informados, doctora, van a ver que la escuela virtual y la escuela en casa, ellos van a verlo igual. El hecho que el muchacho...
No es igual, por eso que
no
tú
son
y
iguales,
yo...
no son iguales,
no es lo mismo.
El hecho que el muchacho está en la casa, en la mente de un padre que no está informado, van a pensar que la educación en casa y la educación virtual, el padre va a ver que ellos están encargados en casa, que realmente deben estar encargados, pero van a ver que son iguales, pero realmente, como usted dice, no son iguales.
No son iguales.
Vamos a decir a ellos por qué no son iguales, porque la educación virtual, el currículum viene de mí como profesor.
Exactamente.
La educación
virtual
en casa viene del padre, aunque existe un patrón, una línea de lista que tiene que seguir del Estado, pero el responsable total es el padre. La educación virtual...
El principal es el padre, el asistente principal es el padre, el horario es el padre, pero tienen una reunión comunitaria con otros padres que escogieron la educación en casa, que ellos tienen que aprender y ellos tienen que hacerlo, y también así no tienen que venir a gritar en la Junta de Educación de Miami, tampoco y Broward, y cojo eso como cargo porque yo soy un ángel que Dios mandó con el otro ángel tú para decirlo. Yo no tengo problema, porque la verdad uno tiene que decirlo. Entonces, ahora, what is the difference? Now let's swing to what is distance learning. Distance learning is that other option that they presented yesterday. That option, I think, should fit middle schoolers. They gave you 2 days, and you have also the option to take your kids to school, and that has to be for superior high school. Then if the school board, they follow you and I, you know that, because we are God's gift. if they pay attention to this shorted, because we're not gonna do a repeat, because we're doing it with our heart, and that Independence Day weekend, taking time from our family to do it, and we're not politically correct here. We're speaking our experience. Then that distance learning, most of the parents ask for the same thing. Fix the problems that happen during the transition. Number one, we did not have a fixed platform. A fixed platform for distance learning that is called LMS. It's called Learning Management System. Yesterday, Superintendent Cavallo was so tired. This is one of the first time I think I've seen so much hair in him and some gray hair. Then he only take the presenter and he went and said that we use a non-profit organization that is not charging us anything. But at the end of the day, if you Google education resource center, they're everywhere in New Jersey and all other states. That's not really what we want for Miami. What we want for Miami, it's for us to take this opportunity, that meeting you guys had yesterday, and let's build on it. Let's build on it for Miami to be the new Miami-Dade educational system. Okay, disclaimer. Proposed by Dr. Flore, Lindor, Latortue, and Ted Victor, July 2nd, 2020. because you, even though they're free, but the fact that most of them are out of state, they may not understand our clientele. That means African American in Miami, our kids who are homeless, our kids who are si moun haïtien yo, comment si moun haïtien yo, mon Dieu, pral bénéficier de tout gros mot sa yo. Parents haïtien qui pa travail yo. How you gonna benefit from that? Tout ça yo c'est gros parler. Parce que pour nous même haïtien yo, parole distance learning nan pas marcher. Premièrement, toi qu'à l'école, yo laptop yo manqué un petit bouton, un bagage, les fini nous même tourner ni veiller. Et puis kounye là nous pas gen.
Ça c'est une kounye même sans gon le bagage rempli mon a parlé, yo dit comme ça que OK, ou besoin distance learning ou ba computer, bon et service internet là même. Côté ça pas sorti.
Bon, okay. Then what Ted and I are just sharing in Creole is that educational resource center, which I'm well familiar with in New Jersey because we've done distance learning for 19 years. You Google it, TED, in the internet, you'll find it.
Right.
We are urging for us to use that yesterday opportunity and to build on it. Build on it based on, we gave you ideas already. Yes, school needs to open. Go back now to the comments. Focus on 3 variables: health, fear, and economy. On health, come back to us August 1st, answer the question of sanitation. There is a lady on my campaign platform. She was excellent. She said, there are different type of masks, okay? Our children, the size of the mask, the color of the mask, and also the way to put the mask, and who's gonna dispose them. How many hours would you have the kids arrive in school, have the mask, when they are in the cafeteria, they have to remove it, and someone has to be responsible to dispose it. You know, all this, it's also new training for the staff, for the cafeteria staff, and also the gloves, how to put the gloves, how to remove it, and things like that. And once they eat, we did not discuss that in the plan. Once they finish lunch, they need a new set of masks. And here's another ideas that Ted and I will bringing. So once you show us who's your vendor for the mask, that's another idea we're giving you. You're gonna be saving in money, because where do Superintendent Cavallo gonna find money for all those new positions? Because now you have, you will need masks, gloves, and all those things. Then you have to go to your vendors to know who does that. Because me, I know I'm a provider with my experience, and I know when I went to many trainings, we didn't have nobody selling masks and gloves except for the custodians. Then now it's another thing. Then we need to solve that first. We need to also do the logistic in the classrooms. Our minds are thinking alike, because I was the one to ask you about that as well, because you mentioned employees and so forth in the logistics, right? Because there's something I did not understand at the meeting yesterday. No.
And somebody said, somebody asked the question, one of the board members did ask the question, okay, are we going to need to hire more teachers since we are reducing the class size? And the superintendent said, well, we're going to repurpose gyms, we're going to repurpose cafeterias, we're going to make spaces.
That's too much in him. That's too much for him to process.
But
and
wait
that
a minute.
was not the proper answer.
But how are we going to reduce class size and not have more teachers? I don't understand.
No,
that.
not necessarily. Listen, when you reduce class sizes, Ted, then you're gonna have what it's called a rotating schedule. When you're working a schedule called blended schedule, then you're still in charge of your, let's say you have 25 students, okay? Mm-hmm. Then based on your survey, you may have 12.5 students, but we don't have that. Let's say 13 students, one day and one class, and you are that teacher for those 2 days, then you're still in charge of those 12 other students. Then your schedule needs to be readjusted, and you need to be trained on how to do in class and out of class. And that will still give you your compensation for your salary, you know, and you need someone that has the experience to help you do it. You don't need to hire more teachers, because the teacher that's gonna have a reduced class, if the parent choose blended, that teacher is not gonna be working like 5 days in class. It's gonna be partial in class, but partial out of class, but that teacher still hold a full-time position. Where we need to bring to a fairness labor, it's the substitute teachers. We have substitute teachers who have been unemployed since March 17. Then that's where you bring them in to work with your blended teachers to make up the time. And that is called making a comprehensive emergency plan. That's the process.
Right. Well, for example, my school in Broward, we already were rotating. Like, for example,
yes, rotation.
One week we have the students Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the following we have them Tuesday, Thursday. But
excellent.
But
that is called the odd and even, and you don't the odd and even, and the student still keeps the relationship with that teacher, and the program still go based on rotation. Also proposed by Ted and Dr. Flore.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is, Dr. Flore, let me formulate the question. If, for example, a school like mine, we are rotating the classes, we have 25 students on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we see those same 25 students the following week on Tuesday and Thursday. If we put that into half, that means 1 week, I'm going to see those students maybe twice a week, and then another week, I'm going to see half of the students once a week. I mean,
No, but work with me. If it goes half, that means you're seeing them half face to face, but you should not lose them in your virtual. In the assignment you're giving them, it's 1 day face to face, 1 day blended, 1 day face to face, 1 day. We put that together for Miami in 2010. Then the day that student of yours is not with you physically, then you are following with them in something called threaded discussion, and an assignment, and also some parents were very smart. Some parents ask the question when it comes to distance learning about the excess of work. You have Khan Academy, iReady, you have all this plus the face-to-face. Then we need to decide. Then in the blended day.
We need to use one platform.
Blended day, that's when the student have to do either Khan or iReady. You know,
right.
And with that type of conversation, you see, Ted, we've been together like 36 minutes. We are breathing better, and we are giving them solution and carrying, and also from the perspective of parent. Parce que I'm a mama, just so you know, mama, and I'm a teacher too. Then this is what was missing yesterday, and also one thing that they did not mention in their plan. And it was the setting of the classroom. Setting of the classroom cannot happen just like that and without planning, you know? And if we're gonna go and do size reductions, class reductions, then we have to have the desk feeding just the same way we have it in college.
Mhm.
And also saving money, not just remove classes and things like that. And the school board just spent millions, I think, for the past 2 years, and having smart board, new desks.
Technology.
Then make them lose that money. Then someone has to at least play devil advocate for them. Look at me. And then they don't want to give me a spot. But look at me playing devil advocate for them as parents. But those things are there for us to use, but as a blended method.
Now, here's another thing that was discussed at the meeting, Dr. Flore, and honestly, we can talk about this for several hours as well. And honestly, I would not want to be in the position of any superintendent. I would not want to be in the position of any decision maker. Unfortunately, as a person who studied public health, and you also as a person of health, the reality is this: it's going to happen. Somebody, either a student or an employee, is going to become positive during the school year. And they said, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if one school has one incident, all the schools are going to shut down. So, I mean,
I heard the superintendent say that he's gonna pivot into distance
quickly.
learning.
He said quickly. We have to quickly.
That superintendent, we love you too much. And also, if you have some mean parents, they're gonna sue you. Don't go with no parents and that quickly, because his heart was there yesterday, and he even spoke of wisdom yesterday. Please, there's no quickly. I work at Jackson for 19 years. If everything Jackson has taught me is that there is one point when we had hurricane that there's no quickly plan that really worked when we were placing people in Northwest, that school, and 62nd and Northwest 7th Avenue. Okay, then that school, while there was a shelter, there's no quickly. There we want to say that COVID also have no symptoms. Then you may start the school on August 24th with someone that is COVID positive and you don't
and asymptomatic, absolutely.
Asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic, okay? and transmitting the disease.
Exactly.
Okay?
Then you see all that time, Ted, we focus on health. Then when you guys coming back to us, come back with your vendor for mask and shields, your strategy, your logistics strategy for class reduction. Also take us for giving you not hybrid. They don't say hybrid. They don't use the term hybrid and education. They said distance learning. It's called blended. Hybrid is a car. Okay. Yes, sometimes I'm offended when I see how they're treating a professional.
A hybrid
okay,
is a car.
And there's no hybrid education. Everybody's going hybrid education. I said, look at them, they're so tired. And the last thing that we need to consider is the legal impact.
They talked about that.
Yeah,
they talked about that. They talked about that. They said if a kid turns out to be positive, the lawyer was called on to answer the question. The kid is going to have to prove that they got into the classroom.
A kid cannot prove that. It has to be the parent. And if the parent is a Haitian parent that has no means to have a lawyer to come and prove that, then here we go. Here's another problem. We need to be culturally sensitive, okay? Because Miami is changing. And as we are reflecting, we need to take this opportunity once again to make Miami-Dade County Public School the first pillar. Let's go with a pilot state of mind and change the educational system while we are learning from each other. Then what we are saying is that if we want to bring back the nurses, because we have nurse educators and the school, and if we want to open the schools, let's start with pre-K to 5, okay? Having them going to school 5 days. We can do it as a trial. We can try it for 30 days and see how it goes. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Then those parents who agree will go with that, and let's work on that positive part because elementary education is the foundation for all communities. And that's how we build citizens. Then from there, we have the nurses on site, and also some clinics that are related to the schools, you know, and South Dade CHI is related to most of my kids' school. Then they need to work testing, daily testing for the children on site. And also when things get better for us, I know we don't have money, then we can also offer testing for the staff and testing for the parents. Then that we will know that we solve the health pillar, you know? And we gave ideas already for rotation of the teachers, not hiring new teachers. You cannot hire new teachers when your actual teachers, you are saying that teachers got a raise, then show them at least a paycheck where they can see the raise. Please, show them. You know, they're talking raise. They're talking raise for the teachers. Legislative is not even back in session. You have to wait. And also it's an election year. August 18, 24 for you to bring the kids to school. Then buy time and get the school and kids in school after Labor Day. October, they breathe. November election again. Can you believe that? It's a year where you have to think of the children first.
Mi hermana, déjame proponer una idea. Mi idea es lo siguiente. Yo personalmente, yo voy a anticipar. Es que yo no soy pesimista, pero yo voy a anticipar que alguien estará contaminado con el COVID-19. Lo que yo quisiera hacer, porque al fin del año pasado, al fin del año pasado escolar tuvimos rápidamente un cambio de educación. Lo que yo quisiera hacer, yo quisiera preparar la comunidad. Si yo fuera encargado, ¿ves? Yo quisiera tomar como una semana y preparar un curso para los padres para preparar a ellos cómo manipular las computadoras en caso que vamos a regresar virtualmente. Yo quisiera que los padres latinos, los padres hispanoparlantes, los padres latinos, los haitianos, yo quisiera que los padres vienen a la escuela, recibir un entrenamiento de una semana. Aquí es lo que se llama Pinnacle. Aquí es lo que se llama Canvas. Aquí es lo que se llama...
Antes de todo, aquí cómo se abre la computadora.
Exactamente. Yo quisiera...
Ahí sí. Luego, aquí así como tiene que filmar tus hijos en la clase.
Y yo lo voy a decir en criollo haitiano.
Identificación. Aquí se parece la plataforma de la escuela.
Yo quisiera, sí, yo lo voy a decir también, en criollo haitiano para que la comunidad se entienda. Moi-même, si m'étais superintendant, sometimes FM t'a préparé une semaine pour gratuit pour entraîner parents yo, qui gens pour parents yo capable assister petit yo sur computer parce que en pile parents yo fermé, yo pas jamais apprendre qui gens qui s'occupe Nicolier, qui gens pour yo notre petit yo, qui gens pour yo attendre studio, qui qualité de voix tu m'as recevoir. Est-ce que tu veux à compléter travail ou bien est-ce que c'est jouer dans internet ou bien il y a pas de mauvais site. Alors même d'ailleurs que parents ça recevoir entraînement ça pour être capable préparer en cas que nous retourner visuel pour pas mettre toute responsabilité sur le système de l'école là.
Et puis tout on training also for the teachers.
Of course.
The teachers. This is what we've been through. This is the gaps, and how can we fix the gaps? You know, from there you train. Okay, let's say we have that reflection today, July 2nd. They listen to us. They come back August 1st, and let's say August 5th. Okay, they have the training for the parents. Let's see. We try to be proactive then, because they're so exhausted. They need help. Okay?
They do need help.
Okay, let's say
it's a major undertaking.
Okay, they have an update on their plan for the community on August 3rd. Okay, then August 4th, they call in a series of parent trainings in all the schools, you know. They have a morning session, an afternoon session, and an evening session. So why? Because that way parents have options for them to not say, okay, they could not come, they had morning, not afternoon, and things like that. Okay, that's one thing. After that, they resume, because I know if it was a normal year, The teachers will be back to school anyway 2 weeks prior, then like August 10th. Then they go themselves and for their yearly preparation and also professional development. And also get the good news that because elections are August 18, that the kids still can't come to school, and also watch the news. And by that time, we will see how the numbers are going and things like that. They will give us the proof of the masks, the vendors. We can have open house where parents can tour the school to see how the kids will sit down, that they not wasting their equipment that they paid millions for, but they readjust the schools, that the teachers also sign a contract of rotation. They're not losing their salaries. They understand the blended system. If they want to pay me, but anyway, I'm a candidate, they cannot afford me now. After that, then we will work on the blended approach for Miami and also Broward, because we are sister counties. And from there, people will have less anger. People also will breathe better. People will start having less stress. You don't make emergency plan yelling. You don't make emergency plan screaming. You make emergency plan negotiating.
Absolutely.
Then yesterday was an exposure. It's good, but there's no negotiation yet. Then we urging the Miami-Dade County School Board to come back in 30 days with
or less.
You
yes.
know,
15
we asked them
days.
to look at the comments.
We don't have that much time.
Yes.
Much time. You know, probably 15 days, maybe in 2 weeks, maybe they can have a breather. Maybe they can take a couple of days to rest, come back with a clear mind. Because
clear mind. And the clear mind, use our techniques, because we're not charging you for that. The techniques to come back to the people is as follows. Reduce their fear by showing them that you did listen, not that you only heard. Because when you hear someone, they see that you hear them because your body language reflects that. But when you listen, you give evidence based that you went through the comments, and you also categorize them within the variables of health and economy.
Yeah, you're really thinking about what they're saying. You're really thinking about what they're saying versus thinking about what you want to respond.
Exactly.
Now, here's a question I have for you, Dr. Flore, as a future board member in Miami-Dade, right? I would like for you to comment on, because this is all surrounding health. This is all around health. Do you believe
and as you can see, everything I've done was health based on
right. Do you believe that
health administration?
Do you believe that teachers should have a choice as to whether or not they come back to the classroom or whether or not they're going to teach virtually?
Okay. First of all, our teachers were not virtual teachers. Then I do not understand that we will bring the topic of choices of, going back to school or being virtual.
But what about the teachers that have medical conditions and are afraid of their health? They're elderly. The majority of the teachers in Broward, I don't know about Dade, but the majority of the teachers in Broward County are over 50.
I understand. Then based on that, we need to also consider that the public health have changed their lifestyle. Based on that, they need to make a request. They don't have to come like it's something that they are entitled of. And here I'm speaking to you based on my administrative experience. From labor perspective, okay, now it's like my husband. My husband is diabetic and my husband is at home working, and my husband is a chicken. He doesn't want to go back to work because he feels more comfortable working at home, okay? Because you cannot dictate people things if you don't have your own experience, you understand? Then here's what after speaking to him, I told him. He said his boss tell him for him to go back to work. I said, no, wait. He is entitled to tell you that Because if you refuse, he can fire you. But can fire you too. If you think, okay, you are teacher this and that, you are Broward teacher Ted Victor, and you are over 50, and you think that you prefer to stay home when I need you in class, then I can, now so many people needs a job, then we can have another choice too. However, you need to present, when you do your leave of absence or request, if you want PL time, it's a dialogue to human resources. Then you have to present that. And I believe then when you present it, then you will be giving the training also to make sure that you are well equipped. Because one thing I come to realize, most of the teachers are heroes because they're using their own equipment, their own computer.
Every day.
Work. And
every day.
If I'm using my own computer and I'm not equipped, then hey, I think we need to take care of the teachers too. And also even at home, the teachers need also the literature. It's not Google Team, Microsoft Team. This is not education. Those things, I'm laughing. Those are not educational platform for teaching. And also there's a lack of confidentiality, and we are in crisis. Okay, we did use Facebook, Zoom at the university level, I know, and we're using it now. Look at that. But at the same time, we need to also adjust it with so many educational platforms that will fit the professor intellectual capacity to deliver. Then Ted, if you want to work virtually, I'm asking you respectfully to present to me your request and to not demand it.
Oh yeah, well, I can already tell you, teachers, my colleagues, including myself, we're going to basically provide the medical documentation. And once we provide the medical documentation, that is a legal entity. And that is that. And especially if there's a history of that particular problem, not something invented because you don't want to go to the classroom, but there are teachers who are vulnerable, just like there are students who are vulnerable. There are teachers that are vulnerable who are able to do the job. They're able to do the job, but the safety, the school board is not going to guarantee that a student walking into my classroom is not COVID positive. They're not going to do that. Correct. They're not going to do that.
And also the other aspect in health that I don't want to let out is that being positive is one thing. Being asymptomatic is one thing. Being tested and being asked to stay in quarantine does not limit you for continuing your blended class.
Of course.
Learning. That's one thing too.
We were quarantined in March, April, and we were still able because the spirit of the human species is to go on. It's not easy, but the spirit, listen, I don't like to wear a mask, but I had to adapt. I wear my mask and so forth. The species will find a way to survive and so forth.
Exactly.
So
and these two shall pass. These two shall pass because we have to adjust. And that's why I said, you remember I told you I was spelling team? Time, we should not wash it. Education, we should respect it. The approach of keeping education is essential, and do it meticulously. Then now with all that headache, for us to find a solution, we can revamp the word team, put it upside down. Then manage, you take the M, then we're gonna manage. Then, and managing, be very, very mindful of the mental state of all of us. All of us. There is nobody that is mentally stable now, because if I'm stressed on television, they can see it. Then that way I can adjust to effectively reopen, and also do a pilot, do a test one with the school. Don't just go 2020, 2021 without a test one.
Well, speaking of test run, I have another question for you, because you did say that you do not think that we need to increase the staff of teachers. But logistically,
not yet. Not until I realize that the substitute teachers get a check.
Realistically, considering the circumstances, considering the pandemic, we have to increase the staff of housekeeping.
Yes. You know, I'm an advocate for them. you have many of them working during summer, and the superintendent even used the term that in-depth cleaning and all those things. Custodians need to increase, yes.
Custodians, without a doubt,
Be mindful also.
They need training.
Yes.
And they probably are going to be putting their lives at risk and so forth.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and
yes.
you know, they have to figure out, when are they going to clean? Are they going to clean in the middle of the week? Is it going to be every day? Is it going to be including weekends? So the budget is going to have
every day they have to clean. If you have children on site, you have to have, once again, rotation of schedule. Then if you go blended, you have someone that works 7 to 3, and you have another group that work, I don't know, because finance also 3 to 6, because they have aftercare. You know, then we need to have people cleaning,
right.
And we need to increase the custodians. Yes.
Now and then now, on the same avenue of this conversation, what does cleaning look like? Does it mean that they're going to spray the room? Are they going to wipe down the
that's
chairs?
a good question.
Are they going to wipe the windows? Are they going to wipe the floors? Are they going to fumigate? Are they going to use some type of blue light?
Let me tell you, and my assessment with the custodian before I get their support, and I want to be very clear about how non-political my campaign is. I think people were looking at, did you get endorsed by such a group or another group and things like that, and I hear the politics saying such group has 30,000 teachers, and I said in my heart, but you don't have 30,000 happy teachers. And in this group, and this telling me, yes, they have asked me things, and I'm saying, okay, but where do the custodian fit? Then the custodians are telling me one things that they need to see is that sometimes they take them to training of things that they don't do. Am I making sense? Let's say I'm calling you to know how to clean that glass. Okay, look at me. You remember how they taught us in Haiti that if you clean your glass so well that you can even see your face in it?
Yes.
Okay, then the buffer, the man or the woman who buff the floor in the school requires different training than whoever does the toilet bowl. Because the toilet balls is a different training because it requires that you are able to clean the inside the bowl, outside the bowl, and also the floor, okay? And also how can you say, how did they tell me that also? They have also their choices for some of the products that they use. Not all of them feels that it's Clorox that works. Then we need to also do an assessment because some of them are veterans. They have more experience, and sometimes they just bring rotation to them, telling them what to do. And that is something we need to take into consideration when we're gonna reopen. And also sweeping. Some of them show me that there is a certain way to sweep, to lift the lift, and there's another way that como recoger en vez de levantar la basura. Because with COVID, we have to be very mindful and how the dust and how we
dispersion of those particles is very, very possible.
Exactly.
Now, one of the other topics they talked about yesterday, and again, unfortunately for me, I have two enemies: time and distance. Time, because I don't know if I'll be long enough to accomplish all of my goals, and distance, I'm too far away from you, my dear sister, my dear mentor. So one of the other things that they talked about yesterday, and I think is very important, and I cannot wait for Broward to have its plan come out so I can hear what they're going to do. Do you believe that we should be doing testing on site?
Yes. Yes.
Testing students, testing
experience
teachers?
But listen, when I worked as an HIV and AIDS case manager, at the beginning, there was no testing on site because of confidentiality. But now after that, we even have scrub, the
swabs.
The swab for HIV and AIDS. Then on site, it's fine because it's accessible and also to keep your data. You need to keep the data. That way you don't lose. And that's how you become a great pilot project. You will know that school Ted Victor had three positive cases, because in this, there's nothing about confidentiality here, because it's a pandemic.
We're all in this together. We are all in this together.
We want to reduce the number, and we are in it together. And being in it together requires that we all humble ourselves and become proactive, like you and I are trying to do today, not judging, not throwing rocks, but reflecting on the steps that are required for us to be successful in Miami-Dade County in 2020, but 2021 not yet, but at least a pilot, or a test one, focusing on health. I think it will be good if Cuomo could look at Miami and said, wow, they better in the way they open their school than I do, you know?
Right.
Laughing, like after everything I taught them, and here they are washing, you know?
So Dr. Flore, as we are approaching the closing hour, I just want to make it clear, this is a video that hundreds and thousands of people will see, and I am totally in support of you to be elected as school board member in District 7 in Miami-Dade. I would like for you to give us a closing statement, and it's hard to give us a closing statement because there's just so much going on in the world right now, plus the pandemic. So give us a closing statement so that the voters in District 7 can remember you.
Okay. Today, I, Marie Flore Lindor Latortue, was very honored for you to watch me sharing some reflections with my friend, my brother, my mentee, also mentor, Ted V.
I don't know if
as I am running for Miami-Dade County School Board, District 7, you can see the passion in me. And it was not about politics of me asking you to vote for me, but it was my contribution as a mother, as an expert in health, and also as a media personality to bring to you the objective perspective. Miami-Dade County is in great need of new ideas, of new blood like my blood. Miami-Dade County is a need for what you call cultural sensitivity and diversity. Et moi creo que moi represente ça. Y yo soy la cara que también come su comida, no importa de dónde salen. Yo soy esta cara un poquito inclusiva que tiene esta sensibilidad de pedirle su voto para agosto 18, 2020. My number is 380. Get out and vote. Tell a friend that lives in Kendall, all north, south, east, and west, that implementation is coming. I don't want to say change because we all have the ability to be part of change, but implementation is required in Miami-Dade County. Moi montrer nous que moi c'est 380. Moi c'est voir ça pour 18 août. Thank you, Ted. Gracias.
380.
Okay.
Perfecto. Mi hermana, le agradezco profundamente. Usted sabe que yo tengo lo más profundo respeto y amor para usted. Vamos a pedir a la comunidad latina, la comunidad hispanoparlante, que recuerden que hay que hablar con sus vecinos, a sus amigos, sus socios, y hay que votar para la doctora María Flore Lindor Latortue el 18 de agosto de este año 2020 para hacer cambios en el condado allá.
Más implementaciones.
Exactamente, en la comisión, exactamente, en la comisión educativa allá en Miami-Dade. Les agradezco de antemano. Soy Teodoro Miguel, el dueño de la red social de Broward, y les agradezco de antemano. Y frère Maxime, yo, pas oublier pour parler avec tout le monde connaît. Tout le monde connaît parce que si nous payons taxes, si nous habitons dans la communauté, il faut nous capables de gagner représentation pour voter pour Marie Flore Lindor Latortue. Demandez-nous pour parler avec tout le monde connaît, pour nous sortir pour nous voter, parce que c'est avec ça que nous sommes capables de recevoir bénéfice le fait que nous payons taxes dans la communauté. Alors, moi, merci nous en pile et me dis nous pour partager la vidéo ça avec tout le monde connaît. Merci en pile. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Okay, adiós. Te quiero mucho. Adiós.
Bye bye. Gracias. Bye bye.